to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast, episode number 87. This week saw, again, for consecutive weeks running, virtually nothing changing. But that said, we did get a glimpse of what will be changing, what's new that will be coming, because we are rapidly approaching Season 4 Reloaded, which we'll give all the details on that this episode. That said, I will turn to the 10-Inch-Cowboy, who I missed out on, the Warzone this week, like ships crossing in the night, but ask you, Cowboy, because I clearly wasn't there. How was your week in the Warzone?
Yeah, thanks. Did I notice like a Minnesota accent on that intro? You're like, yeah, welcome back or something.
Yeah, there was some
like
Midwest flair on that.
Yeah, that was all right. It's one of those episodes. But no, the week was good. I'm trying to recall. It's a sweat fest. I'm not gonna lie. It's hot here in California where we are recording and playing and living, really. And I don't have AC in my house, and it's been really hot. So every time I turn it on, and I'm getting in the zone, it just turns into a slippery sweat fest because it's just so hot and it's so intense. So it's almost like eating some spicy Indian food. It kind of, you sweat a lot and then it cools you down. So that's where my week has been, just trying to survive. But other than that, I didn't even realize that we had a Season 4 Reloaded on the horizon. I feel like it was just last week that we were talking about the new changes. So wow, they're throwing new shit at us all the time, huh?
Yeah, I mean, well, not where we want, not the shit we want thrown at us, specifically the NZ41 nerf, maybe some SMG tweaks, but not have that thrown our way yet. But yes, Season 4 Reloaded is approaching. Yes, it is extremely sweaty, both in the Warzone and real life. I'm literally recording with my fucking shirt off, sweltering in this tin hot box because I won't run a fan or leave the window open because that would sully the recording quality for you, our beloved listeners. So just know, like, we endure the sweat in the Warzone week in and week out for you, and we also endure the heat and the sweat in the real life. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a generalization, and you're making us sound a lot more badass than we are. But yes, I agree. We are sweating it out on a weekly basis right now. It's hot. It's hot around the world, everywhere, not just here, but it sounds like everywhere in the world that's playing this game. I guess in the Northern Hemisphere, I should say, is sweating it out.
So let's just dive right into it then without further ado. The patch notes, or not patch notes, but the big info drop for Season 4 Reloaded. High level news is, as we've talked about, Terminator's coming. The T-1000 is coming. But more on that to come. We got some new weapons, it looks like. But the main, high-level stuff here is there's this crazy new event they're introducing. And if you're a fan of zombies, specifically the zombie mode, you might be into this, but it's called Fortune's Keep Cursed Ground. It's a public event. And I guess this is going to be happening actually prior to the update. So it might actually be either going on now or this coming week. And they said, as first found by Warzone's operators this week, Fortune's Keep is now considered cursed ground and now has an event to match. There are several cursed chests currently going on now, confirmed, or hidden around the island. These chests contain power-ups and high-quality items, but they can only be unlocked by brave souls who survive a hungry horde. Once the events begin, the zombies will continuously spawn in the vicinity of the cursed chests. You have to eliminate them to harvest wisps, whatever the fuck those are. And as your collection grows, more difficult waves of zombies will rise to protect their cursed ground. You harvest enough wisps within the time limit to secure victory and access the rewards within, including cash, kill streaks, equipment, and possibly perk tokens. Just remember that the circle collapse can devour you as effectively as the disturbed animated corpses that rise from the cursed soil of Fortune's Keep. What do you think about that one?
So let me clarify this. This is like happening in a regular battle royale Rebirth game where there's like just certain areas on the map. So essentially you could camp those spots and just shred people that are trying to defend the zombies, right?
I mean, yeah, it's going on live. If you were to hop in a Fortune's Keep match as of the time of this recording or when you're listening to this, you should be able to find these things. Yes, it sounds like similar to like the AIs with the little weird heli drop thing that was going on. Now it's just a bunch of zombies, but yes, it sounds like a long process too. Like it's not just like, oh, kill Krampus, done. It's like waves and waves of zombies in the middle. Have you guys played this game? Do you realize how fucking sweaty it is right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's like, how are you going to be taking on waves of zombies in different levels of intensity? I can't even like move from one building to another right now without getting fried, let alone defending myself and killing zombies and getting third, fourth, sixth, seventh, 10th partied by other people. This seems I'm curious to how this is going to play out, because it seems a little ambitious to unlock these chests on the cursed ground.
Yeah, it sounds like, if you're an amateur, you probably want to see one of these chests, just steer clear of it. Not worth it. Maybe camp it, wait for some other poor bastards to open it, and then among the chaos you open fire. That's probably my attempt or strategy I'm going to use on this thing.
Yeah, it's if you can hit the shots, what'll happen is, though, if you camp it, you'll the better individual will kill off the wave of zombies, and then they'll go to open the chest, and then you'll shoot at them, miss your shots, they'll snap fire to you, just kill you in a moment, and then it'll all be for nothing. So that's probably what's going to happen here.
Yeah, they get your loot and the zombies' loot. It's a double down. But that said, I'm curious if like killing these zombies would count towards, which I hadn't thought about it with the AI. It's coming to me now. It's like, is that a way to get unlocks for a gun? Like, let's say you need the slide kills or whatever it was, the SMG ADS kills, 10 of them. What if you kill 10 zombies ADS SMG? Do I unlock it? I don't know. If you're out there, community, we want to hear.
I don't think so, because the AIs don't go towards your total round kills. It's not like you get a kill marker from killing an AI or killing a zombie. So I don't think you get the XP on the weapon, but I don't think it counts in that regard.
Well, that is too bad. So yes, in addition, that's not even an addition to Season 4 Reloaded. That's already coming here at the tail end of Season 4 Unloaded. But the next up they're talking about here is portable redeploy balloons and an armored SUV with a nitrous upgrade. So they said, need more flexibility and movement options. The mid-season update brings 2 new movement options to Caldera. Wow. Very nice verbiage there. The portable redeploy balloon and a nitro boost to the armored SUV. So the portable redeploy balloon, pretty self-explanatory. We all know the redeploy balloons. We've all agreed. Great introduction into Warzone. But now they'll be able to be found as a field upgrade or as a contract reward, such as, they say, successfully cracking open a supply drop, apparently. And you can deploy them anywhere there is clear sky above. Any operator, once they're deployed, can take advantage, so your enemies just as well as your teammates. And there's 30 seconds that it stays inflated. So what do you think about this addition coming?
I kind of love this. I think this is really cool, because for it to become a field upgrade, you can then obviously deploy it at any time. Say you're like in an impossible situation, which we've all been in a million times, where you're like getting just totally fucked on by some team and you don't have a way out. If you could throw one of these down and somehow, I think it's fun. It kind of adds a little bit more of a strategy and game, you know what I mean? Like thought get into the gameplay. I think this is pretty cool. I don't necessarily see a major downside from this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think additions that help with strategy, that, forethought, creative moves, all that, I think this is going to enable that. Let's say you might want to rotate to a weird spot where you're going to be down low, or, in a bad position, you want to push some team, but you're going to get stuck. Now you got one of these, you can maybe make some cool maneuvers, get you out of a jam. I like little kind of tools that can get you out of a jam, and I feel like this is one of those. So for amateurs and, sweats alike, I think this is going to lead to cool stuff. I don't really see much downside, as you said, or like a way it could be abused. And it's 30 seconds. So, you got it and you use it and you go.
Completely agree. Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't see a downside. I don't see how this like hurts any kind of gameplay. There's nothing that makes me think, oh, I don't know, it's going to do this or do that. This seems straightforward and sweet.
Yes, it does. And I just noticed you're now recording with your shirt off. So this is just a shirts off episode. And I
Dude,
see
it's
some
hot.
imagery. That's sweaty. And I see an imagery with a guy in the game with his shirt off. So maybe that's just like the theme of today. But that said, the other addition, as they said, are these armored SUVs. But now they've given them an upgrade, which is a nitrous boost. So, I think we've talked about H1Z1 several times. This was a thing on the game in the vehicles. You could hit the button, you had a cool little boost. They're adding this now on Warzone. Immediate acceleration, great for catching targets or getting out of a dangerous situation, getting out of a jam. Expect this quick movement upgrade to add a slight wrinkle to vehicle power rankings, as if a massive SUV with turrets was not enough to change how the squad races to victory.
Right. And again, I'm not a car expert. We've established that I am technically not a lawyer, but I am a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a car expert. I'll concede that.
Wow.
So what I don't understand here is that a nitro boost, and maybe my limited field or my limited scope of information in regards to cars and the speed at which they can go, is from a little franchise called Too Fast, Too Furious.
Fast and the Furious.
See, there it is. Thank you. I don't even know the name. The Fast and the Furious. And back in the day, you'd watch this and they had a little red button and it would boost the nitrous when they were racing. And it was like, oh, hit the button. And they would go really fast. But I never imagined that they would put nitrous inside of like SUVs. It seems like stupid to me, really. So I'm just, is this like, what, did they actually do this in the wild? Or is this just like some completely fabricated thing that's just like another, trying to just like spice it up a little bit?
Well, full disclosure, I haven't actually seen any of the Fast and the Furious films, that franchise. However, I am an avid player of the F1 series as of late. I've watched all of, Drive to Survive, and I watch F1, and I used to play Need for Speed, so I think de facto that makes me a bit of a car expert. So to answer your question, I don't think we see an armored SUV, a war vehicle equipped with nitrous oxide in the wild. No. But in the fucking war zone, baby, why not?
I guess that's true, because we had Godzilla and King Kong, which you don't necessarily see in the wild. And now we're going to have Terminator characters, which clearly don't survive in the wild. So I guess you're right. It's in zombies, I guess. What are we talking about? Zombies. So yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, maybe this is small potatoes that I'm laser focused on.
You perfect segue into our next section. I don't know, like, if it's an annual cycle here. I thought they waited for Halloween, but clearly there's like a zombie theme they're rolling out here with season 4 Reloaded. We already talked about these zombie crates, the haunted crates on.
I think I actually know why they're doing it. They're trying to resurrect the dead population of players that used to play this game, and they're trying to get them to come back. I think that's the metaphor
right.
here.
All the old, you see all those old gamer tags on your friends list that haven't been online for a long time. They're trying to resurrect them, it sounds like.
Yep.
If they're zombie fans, they might be interested. But yes, we said Fortune's Keep has its own zombie wrinkle. Well, they're also bringing the zombies to Rebirth. They're calling this Rebirth of the Dead. It's a new game mode. And they said, after hearing rumors of out-of-control experiments on Rebirth Island, our operators are ready to investigate and eliminate whatever threats lurk in the fog. In Rebirth of the Dead, it's a reimagined version of Zombie Royale, where 10 quads will deploy to the island, ready to battle fellow operators, both living and undead. If you get eliminated, you return as a zombie, intent on adding to their numbers by pursuing the remaining humans. To revive as an operator, which just sounds familiar to us who have done this, you got to locate. Now they're saying you got to collect 4 of those antivirals, those little vials. They said they can be found through obstacles this time, or in crates and at buy stations, or obviously eliminating operators, which was how you used to do it before. Apparently that gives you 2 of them. And you earn all 4 by performing a finishing move as a zombie, which that was an old mechanic. So that gets you back into the game. And basically, it sounds like the old-fashioned zombie mode that we used to fucking love back on Verdansk, now making its way onto Rebirth Island. What do you think about this?
I didn't realize that we had multiple zombie game modes coming in hot. You're right. Why? What is going on here? This seems like so out of nowhere that they're just introducing zombies on the maps in multiple game modes. I mean, I'm happy with this. I like the variety. You know, it keeps it a little less stale. I mean, I've always loved this game mode. I feel like we talked about it back in the day, so I'm all about it. And as long as it's, you know, they got a variation of just for the Rebirth quads they've only been allowing us to play, I'm into it. But yeah, it just seems I still kind of having a hard time getting over that there's multiple zombie game modes coming in the middle of the summer. Seems weird.
Yeah, like no zombie theme or storyline was teased at all. I feel like, I guess maybe with like the Nova 6 or whatever, the Nebula 5, maybe. I mean, they could have tied that in, but that cinematic universe, apparently we were applauding it. We've been enjoying it. It's gone. It's just not existing anymore. There's like it's like the fucking multiverse. They're just going full Marvel on us here. But another wrinkle here that I'm seeing is they said throughout the match, there's an infestation meter and it's going to fill up as zombies are eliminated. And once it's filled, everyone who's spectating gets revived as a zombie. So it sounds like this will be, you know, if you're looking for the chaos, the clusterfucks, the insanity, that, you know, high kills, get a break from the sweats and just fuck with them as zombies, this is for you, maybe.
Yeah. I you know, I always seem to fare well in these because it's not the traditional game mode. You know, you can find your own lane as an amateur and have some fun with it.
And I know there's some folks out there, it seems more of the Sweat Lord variety, but they're really into camos and getting the gun things. And I know people have been asking for this to happen because there's these special zombie camos that you could have, I guess, purely for the zombie modes, maybe in Vanguard and in Black Ops. But they're finally now happening. They're calling them zombie camo weapons. Those who unlock the Vanguard zombie camos, including the Golden Viper, Plague Diamond, and Dark Ether, you can now use them on your Vanguard weapons in Warzone. So congratulations to doing something literally no one else is going to care about, but congrats.
What's new? Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that.
You don't have any zombie camos lying in wait, ready to bust them out here there, cowboy?
No, maybe I do, actually. I haven't checked lately, so I'll have to take a peek. Maybe I do.
Well, I'm guessing the answer is probably no, but that's not it. You know, we've talked about a lot of this. Seems like some more casual focused stuff here, really focus on the players that want to take it easy in the game. Maybe this is their way of dialing the sweat down, giving us a playlist that gives us a little, you know, more fun. But there are some more sweaty updates coming along here that we're going to get to. But before we do, let's just go ahead and take a moment to hear from our sponsor this week. And it's a product that we've talked about before. AG1 Athletic Greens, a company that's been supporting us, and a product that could be supporting your gut health, give you more energy, optimized immune system, and all that good stuff.
Was that a pass off to me?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, again, to be totally honest, I just had food poisoning a week and a half ago, and I don't need to go into like the details of what happened to me and my body and what I had to do over a 36-hour period to purge myself of whatever was causing this ailment. But once that kind of stuff happens, I kind of was thinking about my gut health. And apparently and again, I am a doctor, but I'm not that kind of doctor. When you get food poisoning, it completely, you push everything out of all the holes. It's crazy. And you have nothing left in your stomach. Like, it pushes all the bacteria out of there. So your gut health is kind of like primed and waiting and ready to rebuild that good bacteria in your gut. Athletic Greens is the perfect stuff to put into your body once you have serious food poisoning, which I did, and I'm feeling so much better. So I am all about Athletic Greens, and I wouldn't suggest waiting to get Athletic Greens until you get horrible food poisoning, but maybe be proactive and set yourself up for success for when you do get food poisoning. Have it on the shelf.
Wow, yes, indeed. Always an interesting journey there, but you're right. You know, it's a micro habit taking AG1 here as a daily, supplement, but it provides big benefits. It's the one thing you can do every single day to help take great care of yourself. Similar to the cowboy, though not related to horrific food poisoning. Perhaps, though, it's just not explicitly stated here. But Athletic Greens was created when the founder himself was experiencing a ton of gut health issues. He ended up on a complicated supplement routine to recover. It cost him damn near $100 a day, and so he created Athletic Greens after experiencing how difficult it was to create an optimum nutrition routine on your own. So as we said, you can get this supplement. It's not going to cost you that price. It's going to cost you something like, less than $3 a day or something like that. And if you reach out now and you go ahead, head to athleticgreens.com/emerging, EMERGING, use that link, you make a purchase, and with it, you're going to get a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.
Yeah, I mean, do yourself a favor, have the travel packs ready because food poisoning can strike at any time.
That's right. And now to our next sponsor. Gentlemen, all men, for the most part, strive for gold in their lives. Are we right? They strive for gold medals, gold watches, gold everything. However, there's a certain type of man that goes the extra mile. He walks with the confidence of an eagle and giggles in the face of danger. He's a big, hairless, most importantly, winning machine. And when he unzips his pants, what does he see? Platinum. That's right. Manscaped would like to introduce to you all their best and biggest ultimate hygiene bundle yet. That is the Platinum Package 4.0. As you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Manscaped is the leader in below the waist grooming, and now you need to trust them with the whole shebang.
That was quite a vivid, visceral picture that they painted there with that intro. I really was imagining myself in the mirror as I was unzipping my pants and the platinum shine was coming out. But what a interesting direction they're taking these reads. But yeah, you can't argue with them. I guess they are the, I want to say gold, but platinum standard in shaving your balls.
That's right. And I mean, you want to talk about platinum. Let's talk about what's inside of this platinum package. You're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Ultra Premium body wash, and the Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner, Ultra Premium deodorant, the Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, which I certainly have been needing lately, and the Crop Reviver ball spray toner, and the anti-chafing boxers, and the Shed, they're calling it. That's the travel bag that holds all your goods while traveling.
A little too much information there about the perfume you needed there, but yeah, it's great stuff. You know what is sneaky underrated is the nose hair trimmer, something that I found myself using very often.
100%. That's something I was sorely lacking. Certainly been using, but yeah, we love it all. So if you're out there, you're interested, you want to check this out, please do yourself a favor. You're going to get 20% off if you go to manscaped.com and make sure you use the code WAH. That's the initials of Warzone Amateur Hour. That's going to give you 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com. Use the code WAH.
Use the code, people.
All right, well then let's now get back to the continuing on with these zombie-filled patch notes. But as we said, there are some aspects that are a little more, sweat-friendly, let's call them. And this is a new mode they're introducing called, we've heard of Iron Trials. This is actually kind of hilarious with the metal theme from Manscaped, because we're introducing on Warzone the Titanium Trials Endurance.
Wow, a lot of metallic references today.
I mean, we still haven't done the T1000, but that said, first there was the Iron Trials, they said. Now, inspired by the rise of the machines in the near future, it's time for all operators to gear up for the Titanium Trials in Caldera. To simulate the toughness of a Terminator model, the maximum base armor threshold will be increased to 300 hit points, with the tempered perk appearing more frequently as ground loot for more effective armor repairs. Each player begins the game with a self-revive and core health regeneration takes longer to restore, making it a high skill, very high time to kill game mode. Titanium Trials features custom-built loot tables to support the higher TTK gameplay, including exceedingly rare redacted weapons that are a step more powerful than loadout weapons. Interesting. There are also fewer overall resources in the map to reward operators who act aggressively towards the opposition, which we've talked. I mean, they're listening. But that said, with the cost of loadouts beginning at a higher price point and decreasing in price throughout the duration of the match, Titanium Trials Endurance uses a rule set on Caldera and goes live on August 11th, which is right before we do our live Q&A call-in.
Yeah, this is I think it's interesting that they're doing an Iron Trials where you obviously have the 300 damage, but then they are saying they're going to make the weapons stronger. So it's kind of like, what are we doing here? You know, like what? Like
That's a good point.
Why are we? Yeah, I mean, I always liked Iron Trials because you could survive longer than normal, you know, and you didn't like get killed in a split second. So I guess if the weapons aren't too powerful, that should stay the same, but I kind of don't understand that logic there.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and it honestly sounds like the most, you know, the weapons that exceed anything you can even build on your loadout, which isn't just interesting that they can make them like that.
Yeah.
Are and you know, you loot them. So I think it's going to be a situation where that kind of becomes like the de facto like baton being passed around this game. Is you get one of those weapons, you find it, then if you kill the guy, you take it keeps passing along. You got to imagine like the vast majority of teams that win it are going to end up with the ones that have the higher TTK or the faster, you know, damage. But that's interesting, and I'm wondering, like, off the top of my head, so it's 300 base health. I believe plates equal 50 each, so 150. So that gives 450 damage to kill someone. Normally, right now, it's like, what, 350 or 300 or something like that total? That's pretty wild. It's going to be an interesting experience, especially on Caldera, where it's like so much shit to hide behind. I don't know about this mode. I mean, I like them for trying it, but I don't know about this.
They're going to be very hot late circles. You know what I mean? Like at the end of these games, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people alive still, and it's just going to be ammunition is going to be, you're going to want to run fully loaded in this.
And, you know, yeah, run fully loaded. It sounds like massive mags. It sounds like the ground loot weapons are going to be skewed towards just that to, you know, accompany this higher TTK or slower, whatever you want to call it. But as I said, like, clearly they're listening to the Warzone Amateur Hour, because I know weeks and weeks back we talked about ways to improve Warzone 2 or even Warzone, and we said, well, what if they made it a mode where all of the loot was kind of came from players themselves? There wasn't these crates, and it sounds like they're kind of dipping their toes in just that in this mode. They talked about, you know, they want to basically encourage like player to player fucking each other up. You know, fewer overall resources in the map to reward operators who act aggressively towards the opposition. That's right in line with what we've talked about, is it not?
That's 100% right in line. Yeah, we know they're listening. We know they're listening. And watch, next week they're gonna walk back the the guns are stronger comment or something like that. Watch, so, you know, they're listening. They know what's going on.
Yeah, they'll be like, wow, we kind of realized actually it didn't make a lot of sense, so we're rolling that back. And then they'll whisper like, thanks, Tron and Cowboy.
Wow, you almost didn't add and Cowboy on there. You almost just said thanks, Tron, and left it at that.
That's what you heard. We'll let the listeners decide. That said, you know, this is a Warzone podcast, so we're not going to get into it, but they are adding a brand new multiplayer map for like the 12 people that are still playing Vanguard. It's called Desolation. We got a new operator coming out. And a gun that we talked about back when we previewed the season to begin with. They were waiting to release it, is now coming. We're going to have a new weapon here. Similar name to one that's already out there because, of course, why not fucking make shit different? Let's just make it slightly, you know, off kilter. And this is the Vargo S. It's not a Black Ops gun. It is a Vanguard gun. It is the Vargo S assault rifle. They said you trade firepower for improved accuracy and fire rate. It excels in medium to long range engagements. Though outclassed in power, its reliability finds success in a variety of gunsmith configurations, from fast handling and snappy to tight mid-range play, to adding a scope for additional stability to better compete from a distance. So you unlock it by completing an in-game challenge, which is yet to be revealed, or purchasing, of course, a nice blueprint bundle. What do you think about this Vargo S?
So, funny enough, you started this discussion about this new weapon and said that it's named similarly to another weapon. That might be the understatement of the century. Yeah, it's literally named the same fucking thing. It's Vargo and Vargo S. It's what the fuck goes through these people's mind to name this weapon the same exact thing, except there's what is supposed to be like the Vargo small? Like, what is it's so stupid. What are we doing here? Like, name it the Varco, something different than Vargo. It's the same name. This is unbelievably idiotic to me. I don't understand what they're doing. This is upsetting me more than anything else in a long time with this game. This seems so stupid. Why would you name it the same thing? It's like the MP40 and the MG42. It's like, this is even worse. This is the same thing.
KGM40, the MG82, the MG42.
Yeah, it's
the MP5, the MP40, the MP7, the Vargo S, the AK-47 Black Ops, the AK-47 Cold War. Wow, this is where we're at right now in Warzone, and this is why Warzone 2 is so sorely needed and why we are so desperate for it.
So is it a different team making Warzone 2? Because if they're having the same people name things, I'm concerned.
I'm not sure. But similarly, we've always bemoaned them using I guess I'll take Vargo S over fucking assault rifle Talladega or whatever the fuck they're calling them these days. But on a note about that, the old friends of ours, I don't know if we can call them friends. We love you out there if you're listening. Warzone Loadout. They tweeted out this week that they released a new kind of page on their site where it's essentially a cheat sheet, a translation sheet for all those stupid fucking nicknames and what they actually mean, which I was glad to see. I retweeted that. If you're out there, check it out if you need the link. But yes, the Vargo S is coming mid-season. Got to imagine, it's probably going to be OP. Man, that's finally when we're going to get the NZ41 nerf, is where we're going to be like, oh, that's awesome. And then 2 days later, they're going to drop the Vargo. It's going to be fucking OP, and we won't be able to unlock it. So we'll be like, from a place where we at least could run the meta to being the little Timmy, get shit on boys. Maybe. I don't know.
You sound optimistic.
You know it, baby.
We've just both been around the bush. We know this game. We know how it's played.
Well, let's end this week. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe the weapon tuning comes around. The Vargo S fits nicely in there. It sounds like an M13 type of weapon where you're sacrificing damage for accuracy and fire rate. Maybe it's a favorite. Maybe I love it and I can unlock it. I don't know. It took me a goddamn while to do the old Vargo, so we'll see. But let's talk about something I know we both are looking forward to, even though we're probably not going to spend a fucking dime to be a part of it. But that is part man, part machine, become the Terminator. From the iconic 1991 film Terminator 2 Judgment Day, arguably the greatest sequel ever created in the history of cinema, in my mind.
I was going to say, were you paraphrasing there, or were those your words, or was that actually written?
That little addendum about where it ranks in terms of sequels, that's all Tron. If anyone's out there, you got a stronger sequel for me to talk about, except I guess maybe Empire Strikes Back's up there. I don't know, but let's talk about it. But that said, the T-800, which was Arnold's character, and the T-1000, which was Robert Patrick, our beloved Robert Patrick, huge fan of the podcast.
Yes, big fan.
They're deploying in 2 new limited time bundles available throughout the month of August. There's going to be the Tracer Pack Terminator T-800 Mastercraft Ultra Operator Bundle, and it features Arnold in his classic, opening T2. He goes into the fucking bar. What does he say? I need your bike, your gun, and your clothes. And they're like, get it, go, Jack. And he fucks up all the bikers and he takes the fucking leather jacket. They play the George Thorogood Bad to the Bone track as he gets on this hog and flies, away. Well, that's the Arnold you can be playing at in the Warzone. Although there's no more fucking motorcycles, which is a huge missed opportunity in my mind.
Yeah, sorry, I was just distracted thinking about sequels. And I'm surprised you didn't say Godfather 2.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I just know that you love those Italian films.
I just think like, in terms of the Godfather 1 is such a masterpiece that I don't know if 2 overshadows it to where T2 is just like, it's a fucking titan that sprang up from like, you know, a little leprechaun.
Yeah, it's like seed to a big plant as opposed to like the fucking
Yeah, like
plant.
the leap from 1 to 2 there is pretty incredible. But that said, the quote is actually, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. They have it up here on the patch notes. You gotta love that.
Wow.
And it's the first cybernetic organism developed by Skynet. It's the Model T100. It's perfectly able to blend in with humans utilizing living tissue over hyperalloy skeleton. Now's your chance to become the classic T800, except now isn't the chance because it's not even in the fucking game yet. But anyways, then they also have the badass antagonist from that film, the T1000, who, you know, it's Skynet's advanced AI model. It's developed from a mimetic polyalloy liquid metal capable of shape-shifting to better impersonate the human resistance.
It'd be kind of cool to have that metallic alloy, like, skin, you know? Not the person, but just the metal alloy, you know?
Well, here's what I'm wondering, which to me, like...
If they do, I think I know exactly what you're going to say, and it's going to be a huge miss if they don't do it, but finish your thought, because I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
I think we're fucking vibing here, and that is, yes, if it's like a badass animated operator to where when he takes damage, it's like he's fucking, you see the exposed, the liquid aspect of him.
Yep, that's exactly what I was, as soon as you said that, I had the same thought, and that would be badass, like, you're shooting him and, like, alloys, like, coming out of it. That would be, how do they not do that? They have to do that. It'd be such a big miss.
I think at the least they got to have some badass execution where, like, you know, he like does like the finger that stabs you through the eye, or I don't know, but yeah, like imagine if he took like a shotgun blast.
That's got to be the kill thing. You know, like the way the what is it called when you go behind
execution.
Someone? The execution has to be that. It has to be.
Yeah. It's just a missed opportunity. They got to have something badass for Arnold too, you know, like,
you know what's not
or
badass?
Like when Arnold took damage, if we could see his skeletal underbody or like his face, you know, like the eye starts to fucking glow.
That would be amazing.
Why haven't they hired us yet?
It's unbelievable. Also, the really bad idea that I'm sure they're gonna do is that when he dies, Arnold dies in its rebirth. Obviously, he's gonna say, "I'll be back."
That will be cool.
Yeah, obviously that's if they don't do that, what are we even talking about here? Like how, you know, they're not even trying at this point.
And I mean, I'm curious to see. I highly doubt they actually have the actors themselves lending themselves to the sound bites, but I'm curious to see the quality of the voice acting like that they have to impersonate them.
Yeah, I mean, "I'll be back" is like one of the most quoted lines in American film history. So I would imagine that they've got somebody that can do it very well.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Oh yeah, there's so many good lines from that.
Yeah,
There's
so if you're
many
out
good
there,
lines.
you haven't seen T2, make a weekend out of it. See the first one, and just wait for what awaits you in number 2. Get this, you know, big screen, sound up, fucking dun dun.
Oh,
dun, dun.
also, like, obviously, Arnold is got to have a blueprint where he's got a sawed-off shotgun. Of course. He has to have the sawed-off shotgun. And what would be fucking awesome is if they had a skin for motorcycles when you get on them and it turns into like a Harley. Obviously.
That's what I'm saying. They don't even have motorcycles anymore. If they had incorporated that, because like literally back on Verdansk, when I would drive the Berthas around the canals and I would go off of the bridge into the canal,
You
it was
thought
straight
about
up
Terminator. Yeah.
one for one T2
Yeah.
moment. Robert Patrick doing that
Yep.
with John Connor on the back of the motorcycle. Yeah. So they could have had something like that going on here on Caldera or wherever it was if they had bikes. But anyways, we'll see what they do with it.
Seriously should be hired as like some kind of like media relations sponsorship coordinators for the show. Like we
Quality control evaluators.
have QC evaluators. Yeah, that consultants really, but
They have tons of QCs too in game development, but none of them do anything like we're talking about. So
it's like this, it would bring it to, I'm sure there's games that, I mean, they have to have roles. If anyone out there is listening and you know the role that I'd like to start applying for those roles. So let me know what role I'm actually searching for is, because you know what I'm saying.
that's right. So yes, that's going to be dropping, and we actually didn't even say it until now, but Season 4 Reloaded, when's that going live? That is going live on July 26th. That's right, July 26th. To recap, we're going to have the portable redeploy balloons, the armored SUV truck with the nitrous, the Rebirth of the Dead playlist. That's coming on July 27th. New operators, the cursed ground shit's going on now, it sounds like. The zombie stuff coming up, the wisps, this, that, the other, the titanium trials later on. And to cap it all off, on August 12th, as we said last week, we are going to be doing our first live ever recording session of the podcast, taking in the callers, be putting out links for that soon. But that is going to do it for us this week on the Warzone Amateur Hour. As we said, not a lot happening now, but certainly seems like a lot coming in the few weeks here.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like we're getting a little busy. And so wait, when is Reloaded coming out? Is it this week?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a day, I think, after the release of this episode.
Wow.
July 26th is going to be coming out. And the Dead playlist on Rebirth, the 27th. No word yet on the Vargo or the Unlock stuff, so we'll follow up with that next week. We'll follow up with first impressions. We will talk to you then. We look forward to it. Counting down to Warzone 2, counting down to our live Q&A episode. Hope you all have a good time there. Talk to you next week. And until then,
Good luck in the gulag.